A chilling moment frozen forever in time. It's the last known picture of Bethany Markowski, snapped less than 24 hours before she vanished from the face of the earth.
I hate to even ask this. You've sort of alluded to it. Do you think Bethany is still alive?
Most days, I do. I have to, until I'm proved that she's not alive.
That's also the attitude of the dogged investigator who has been on the case since day one.
Until we find evidence to suggest otherwise, I'm going to believe that she's alive somewhere.
Special Agent Kathy Ferguson from the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, began looking into the case when she was a detective for the Jackson, Tennessee Police Department.
This must be personal for you.
Well, you don't forget about it. You know, we haven't found her, and there's always hope that we will. Wow, that could have been my child. That could have been my niece or my nephew. With that regard, yeah, it is personal.
Bethany's dad, Larry Markowski, claims he dropped her off at this mall in Jackson and then took a nap in his van. When he woke up, he says he couldn't find her.
Any security cameras in the mall?
There were some, and we looked at all the security footage that they had. We found no one that saw Bethany Markowski at the Old Hickory Mall.
No one?
No one.
Is there any evidence that she was ever at the mall?
No, there's not.
So right now, the only evidence, if we can call it that, is the word of Larry, her dad.
We were never able to corroborate what Larry said about Bethany being at the mall.
No kidnapping plot.
No.
Does this mysterious woman hold the key? The cops got a tip that led to this sketch of the disheveled-looking woman, possibly seen with Bethany not long after she vanished.
It was a sketch of, I think, a 40-something-year-old woman that tried to enroll her in a school.
Whatever came of that tip, follow up on it?
We did, and it was ran to ground. It was resolved, and as far as we took the lead as far as we could.
But Bethany's mother, Johnny, has her own theory about who the mystery woman might be.
This woman, did it resemble someone who was connected?
At the time, I didn't think it did, but yeah, it does look like a family member, a distant sister-in-law that I wasn't real close with and only had met a few times.
Is there someone on Larry's side?
Yes, and whether that is her or not, I don't know. It just looks familiar.
The mystery woman is just one of the clues citizen journalist Brandon Barnett investigated for his popular podcast, Searching for Ghosts. Where is Bethany Markowski?
What put Bethany's case on your radar?
Happened in my hometown. It was one of those that you heard about and then didn't hear anything else about it.
Did you interview Larry for the podcast?
No, he reached out to me via Facebook and offered that I come to his house in East Tennessee, and I wasn't comfortable doing that. My instincts told me that was a bluff.
So Brandon claims he interviewed a number of key players in the case, including a guy named Harold, claiming to be Larry's friend, who maintains Larry and Bethany were with him at his house some 275 miles away in Little Rock, Arkansas, the night before she vanished.
Tell me about your conversation with Larry's friend, Harold.
He drove Larry to Nashville to try to take Bethany from school about a month before Bethany disappeared. And then about a month later, he goes to Harold's house in Little Rock, Arkansas for his visitation weekend, the weekend that this happened. Basically tried to get Harold to pick Larry's van up in Mexico. The inference was he was going to flee with Bethany to Mexico.
Listen to this excerpt from the podcast where Harold tells Brandon his version of the day before Bethany disappeared.
Larry wasn't letting her out of his sight. Looking back at it, it was kind of like he was afraid she was going to tell us something that he didn't want us to know. He said to me, he said, well, I'm going to take my van down to Port of Mexico and leave it down there, and you can have it. You just come get it. It'll be yours. And I said, but the FBI will go right into Mexico and pick your butt up.
So how did Larry explain everything to Special Agent Ferguson? She says he didn't.
In the 17 years I've worked this case, I have not spoken to Larry.
Well, has he been helpful at all to the investigation?
Not that I'm aware of.
Larry did talk to our affiliate WBBJ in Jackson, Tennessee, when Bethany first disappeared.
We took a nap in the van, and she got up, wanted to go in the mall, and she went in supposedly, and I fell back asleep for a while and woke up and went in and looked for her. I made a mistake by letting her go in the mall. I shouldn't have done that.
But Special Agent Ferguson claims he hasn't said much since.
I've worked numerous missing children's cases. And I've never had a father react the way that Larry did.
He's the only one that has that answer. He's the only one, and he's not talking.
Coming up, Crime Watch Daily searches for answers from the one man who can shed light on what happened. We track down the elusive Larry Markowski, and we're in for a wild welcome.
Is that a gunshot? Have you developed an official suspect?
No one has been charged in Bethany's disappearance.
Persons of interest?
Because we don't know where she is, anybody could be a person of interest.